Welcome to Citron Center Ice, episode number 2. And I'm featuring Florida Panthers forward Mackie Samoskevich. Mackie, how's South Florida treating you?
It's as good as you can imagine. Weather's nice, hockey's great. Yeah, I'm enjoying it for sure.
Best of both worlds, I think, when you're down the tropics. But let's
Yeah,
talk a bit about, I believe it's been 3 years since I've seen you, but more importantly, 3 years which you've jumped at basically every
yeah.
level to get to the show. So talk a bit about, give me a story or two. Welcome to the National Hockey League moment. Could be good or it could be a hit. Could be something like, oh, I was lined up, next to Sid or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a couple. I think it was my second game. I think we were playing Winnipeg, um, in Winnipeg, home opener. So it was just they were playing good. Like they're hot. They started out hot, and the second period, I think I got the puck in the middle, and I was on a one-on-one, like felt good, like, and then all of a sudden I get my pocket picked, and I pick my head up, and Ehlers is at the far blue line already with the puck, and
Wow.
you realize how good guys are, and that was definitely one of those moments. And then Pittsburgh, last year it was kind of like you said, it was like the childhood, you grow up thinking about these guys, watching them, idolizing them, and there was a scrum, and I happened to just be the guy that got in there the same time as Sid. So it was one of those moments where you just take a step back in the moment. You're like, oh, holy shit. Um, those are a couple of stories that come to mind.
Wait, so you got a little face wash from 8-7 and you're just like, all right, that's enough. Because he's a unit. He's a chiseled guy to say the least too. Like, yeah, he's amazing at hockey, but right, it's not something that I wouldn't want to mess with him if I was a
Yeah,
player. That's all I know.
he, he's not an easy one to have for sure.
It's Stingray. What do you think the craziest thing you've seen so far is? I mean, you're Stanley Cup champion. Let's not forget. So you've been able to. I mean, I wouldn't even say Black Ace, but you played some games last year for Florida, and as such a young guy, I think
Yeah.
you got not only just national league experience, but you've seen what it takes to win. Talk a little bit about that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely lucky to see, how it's done. They do, I mean, I think they do it pretty similar here than they did in Chicago in terms of like everyone's pulling in the same direction to, be great every day. And in Chicago we kind of did the same thing where it's, get better every day, and everything's pulling towards to, getting better and, being our best. So it's kind of the same thing here. And that's something I saw right away, and it definitely reminded me of my time in Chicago, and it's kind of make me feel, I guess, more comfortable. With because it just as a young guy, it allows me to, better myself and learn. And obviously, I'm far from perfect, and I'm far from my final product. So yeah, I saw it right away. It's not something everyone has, every, organization has, I think. Um, but it's something so special to be around, and definitely lucky to be around it for sure.
I know that you brought up the Steel and the USHL, and it's such a competitive league, first of all. But then asking you here, I hear it so many times. I mean, like obviously the first priority is development with the Chicago Steel. What makes them so special or separate in a sense of, hey, not just like a powerhouse, but they get you ready for the world stage. I mean, what are those habits and details? Like I saw in your first goal, at least, and from a guy who's just watched, like, yeah, I might not be right, but that puck protection, like those
Yeah.
drills that you do in practice every day, like how many times have you done that? And just,
Yep.
in drills. So talk a bit about just an example or two how the Steel prime you rather than, I don't know, some other league or organization.
Yeah. Yeah. I think just the idea of little habits that go a long way, like it's like not obviously all the intangibles of actually playing the game and what they teach you, but like the work ethic of it and just the idea of like if you have the habit of getting better every day, like, you'll be just fine anywhere you go. I think, when you give a young guy like that like tools to that, cover so many things that cover, you know what I mean? That one thing that covers so many other things, like it helps so much. Um, I'm so lucky to be a part of that. And yeah, I think obviously that, and then all the little habits that you that go on in a little in a games, like it's hard to put it in words just because how much we've done in those 2 years that I was there, like every day, like we'd pick every decision made on the ice, and how can we make that better, and all that little stuff adds up. And um you know
Yeah.
Brock and
Law.
the whole group was so good at that, like picking apart a game and teach a young guy, hey, that like if you had a shoulder check here, like imagine what it could turn into, like just like little stuff that adds up. And
Wow. Yeah.
it really, yeah, like it's the little things that matter, I think. And um yeah, definitely grateful for that.
And that was Brock Sheehan. He's the head coach at Notre Dame here as we talk with Mackie
Yeah.
Samoskevich, the Stingray, which in the show, I guess there's no nicknames, but smooth but can sting you. I'll tell you what, this kid. Speaking of development, talk to me a little bit about the American Hockey League. In your words, what do you think
Yeah.
that platform is? That sort of just, hey, you're playing against guys that are 20, guys that are in their 30s. What kind of development do they have there? And not even a comparison. Is it sort of just a stepping stone, do you think, for you? Because it's the second best league in the world.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing coming from college is that you're playing more games. Like you really have to learn how to get your body ready for, that game in January that is on a Wednesday, and you might not be
Hmm.
playing the best team. Like little things like that, it's a real skill to learn. And I think coming out of college, you have, a whole week to get ready for a game, and when you come to pro, it's like you might have a day or two to get ready for a game. And I think learning that right away, and getting better at that and making that a skill was probably the biggest thing, biggest adjustment, I'd say. And um but I mean, you are playing against really good players every night, and you do learn every night that like you can't really take a night off. So that really, all those days of getting ready, you realize how important it is, and how important like making that a skill is. And um even when you get to the NHL too, like it's even harder, like you might get only like a day in between games, and then on top of that you're playing, the best in the world. So it's last year was huge for me to kind of start that learning curve of, how can I, you know get ready for games in a short amount of time, and add time to make my game better too. So the American Hockey League's like the perfect world for a young guy. It kind of, sometimes you get like a week to, like in college you would get, and to work hard and get better for that week, but then also you'll get the day in between games, so you kind of get best of both worlds. And I think it adds a little bit of, you know both
Grit,
worlds. Like it's, yeah, it's
always hungry
exactly.
league.
So
No,
Exactly. Exactly. It's the perfect name for it. So
yeah, there's always
yeah.
somebody that's starving there. And I know before we get into a little personal, well, first your twin sister Madison. I
Mhm.
feel like I don't give your fam shout out to Fred and Patty, your mother and father. What a great guy! What a great
Yeah.
guy he is. What a family just in general. But
Yeah.
then your twin
Oh yeah.
sister that played hockey, Madison, and then your older sister Melissa.
Yeah.
What do you think is
Yeah.
the best hockey memories you shared with your family and your sister?
Um, I'd probably say like we had a outdoor rink growing up. We were lucky enough, like my dad knew what he was doing right away. So he put a rink in the backyard, and I'd say like those times where all three of us would get out there and just, screw around, like it was the best. It was having so much fun, like no responsibility out there, just, enjoy the game. And that's kind of where you know, the love of the game kind of started, was just being out there with them and screwing around with them, and playing one on one with them and stuff like that. And my dad would always put us through drills too. So um, yeah, I'd say that those are the memories that come to mind. Just being out there with them and having fun,
Yeah,
being a
how are you
kid.
so how are you settling into South Florida? I know we talked a bit, but it's such a good place now, such a great market for the
Yeah,
game. And so, are you a beach guy,
yeah.
Stingray? I mean, your nickname's Stingray, so you'd think you'd be by the water, but something tells me I think you're a golf guy, so I believe. I mean, a lot of you
Oh
guys
yeah,
are. So, do you
you're
have like
spot
a
on.
local? I'm not sure if you're a beach guy. So what else do you like to do? Are you a foodie? Do you got like an Italian joint that you like to visit? You got a pregame spot? What's the deal down there?
Yeah, you're spot on. Like I'm more of a golf guy. Like I like getting out on the course, just getting the music going, you know, maybe get a little match going. But beach too. I love being out there. But food's great down here. It's easy to be a foodie down here. There's so many spots. We were just talking about it actually like 20 minutes ago, like how many spots there really are around here that are top notch. So, um, but yeah, golf, beach, food,
Hockey
anything like
doesn't get
hockey.
better than that.
Yeah,
Literally the life.
it really is the best. There is nothing better than playing down here. So I am super grateful to, be a part of it, and excited for the rest of it. I'm definitely enjoying every second of it for sure.
Has anyone sort of taken you under your wing per se? Who's given you at least just some advice here in the show? I know it's kind of not one for all. Like you're a pro, obviously, but is there anyone that's kind of giving you some really good advice in terms of
Yep.
expectations?
Yeah, I mean, mostly everyone, like, um, they've been so good with me, like, but I'd say one guy, like Evan Rodriguez, I think we play similar style games that we like to, move the puck and make
Quick.
plays. And
Yeah.
he's one guy that I think has always, yeah, he's quick. Like he's one guy that's always, giving me tips, I feel. And every time that he gives me them, it's a lot of help. So yeah, everyone's been great with me. If they see something, they're telling me. So I think it's been super helpful. Even the coaching staff, like they've been doing video with me, and you know kind of rounded out my game. So I feel like I've gotten a lot better since the start. And um credit goes to them for helping me and allowing me to do that. So um yeah, it's been great group. I'm definitely
Well,
lucky to be around it.
no, that's so cool. When you're at the National Hockey League level, some of the things like in video, because I know from our time at the Steel, you guys do those sessions that are really, really tedious. But what kind of things right now
Yeah.
are you working on in your game that you're trying to get better at?
I mean, coming into the NHL, like I said earlier, you're playing against the best guys in the world, obviously. And I think just learning the defensive game and learning how to obviously give up nothing, but on the other side, like being able to create, scoring chances and help the team win. I think, that's cliche, but like it's kind of, I think the next step for me. So, I think just starting with the defensive side, working on the little details like having a good stick,
Love it.
good positioning and stuff like that. I think it'll lead me to better things. And I think going into Chicago my first year, I think it was kind of similar. Like I had to focus on the defensive part first, and then once I got good at that, everything kind of fell into place, and I was able to use use what I was good at, and use my speed and playmaking and shot. All that stuff comes. So like I said, just working on the little details of the defensive game, and I think that'll help me on the other side of the puck too. So
So big. Yeah, I still think it's for kids.
yeah,
I don't know if we got spoiled at that team too, because I just feel like I get everyone wants to score, but man, it's just the way that you got to play the game now as a forward
yeah,
coming back. And it's just, I know a lot of kids at the younger
exactly.
age, but
Yep.
if you're going to be in that league that you're in, like you got to have, I mean, so solidified defensive details as a forward. I mean, it's just everyone's got to
Yeah,
have it, and it's easier
a
said
big
than
time.
done. It's brutal, but
Yeah,
it's beautiful when
for
you
sure.
strip and you pickpocket, not like yourself on Ehlers, but you'll be there. That's what comes with being in the
Yeah,
National
yeah,
Hockey League. So, no, I'm proud of you.
yeah,
I'm proud of you,
yeah.
Mackie, and I
Exactly.
want to, hey, thanks for your time, and just I look forward to watching
Yeah,
you
no problem.
continue to grow, and to help your teammates out,
Yeah,
hopefully for another Stanley Cup. So, thanks so
yeah,
much for your time, and go get some rest.
yes, sir. Yep, yep. I appreciate it, Citron.
All
Always,
right.
always a pleasure chatting with you.
Hey, by the way, interviewing skills have significantly improved. Where did you get those
Thank
skills?
you.
Was that college? Was that Charlotte? Was that Florida?
I think just
Was it
over time
Toronto?
you kind of get better at it. Like, I mean, in Chicago, it's kind of like the first time I was doing it. So,
That's why.
but yeah, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So,
That's good. No, no, you sound great. And hey, best of luck. I'll be watching you here throughout. But thanks so much
yeah,
again for your time, kiddo.
alrighty.
All right, take
Yeah,
care.
no problem.